So hello everybody, how are you today? In today's video I have a very special guest. First of all, I don't know if you remember, if you've seen the last video, or the video I did last week about how to generate tips for your users. So this is how it works. This is the Google Analytics template app that I've created for you, free to download down below. And this tip that you see here refreshes or updates every time a user refreshes a report. Here it says the email is a key traffic source because it is a direct connection to your audience. Also, you don't own your social followers or search rankings, but you do own your mailing list, and nobody can take that away from you. So take care of your mailing email list, okay? Now, if we would refresh the report, I'm not going to refresh the report, just the table that has the tips, because otherwise it will take too long. Then you'll see that a new tips gets generated. It says, it is always best to have a variety of traffic sources and minimize the risk of your website to disappear if your main traffic source dries up. For example, if Google changes the algorithm, you still have other leads into your website. Okay, with that said, I told you this list, I hard-coded it on Power BI, but it is possible, obviously, to create a PowerApp and to have your users or people in your organization to generate the tips for you. And I told you that if you wanted me to, I would create a video about it. And there were a few of you that said, yes, please do a video. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Here's the thing. I thought, there are amazing PowerApp professionals out there. So I said, okay, I would love to collaborate with them instead of me doing it myself, because I am sure that we would learn something that I didn't know, because I am not an expert of PowerApps. I just, use them as I need, basically. So somebody answered my call, and it was Tomasz. Tomasz, thank you very much. And he created a fantastic video for us on how to do this PowerApp. Not only that, so he teaches how to create a PowerApp, how to store it in SharePoint, how to create adaptive cards. Do you know what an adaptive card is? It's super cool. You have to check it out. And then how to approve the content. So how to create an approval process so you make sure that only the tips that are good get published into Power BI. How about that? Tomasz, you're the best. Okay, Tomasz has a YouTube channel. I'm going to link down below. Go there, check it out, subscribe, okay? And I'm going to sip it and let you enjoy Tomasz's video. Tomasz, thank you very much. Enjoy.
Hi, as Ruth said, my name is Tomasz Poszytek, and the story is very simple. So I just saw her request on Twitter where she was asking anyone who could help her with completing her scenario around Power BI and random hints from Google Analytics with a PowerApps application that will be used by the users to submit their own custom hints. And so here I am. The solution I want to show you is kind of a digital workplace solution, because it will be all stored within Microsoft Teams. So here I'll create new tabs in this channel. The first one is going to be with the PowerApps application for submitting the hints, and the other one is going to be the report itself that will consume the information from the users. Now, we are also going to use this small hints SharePoint list that is going to be used as a data storage for the custom hints from users. And I'll also create a flow that will once a week send a notification to the manager. Well, it would send it once a week if that was a productive solution. However, for the demo purposes, it is just going to send it like once 2 minutes, for example. And so manager is going to be informed, but not via the email, because that's kind of an old school, but it will be informed using adaptive card how many new not approved hints are still waiting his approval, so that he'll be able to open this list and then bulk approve or bulk reject them. All right, so let's start it. The first thing is the PowerApps application. So I'm here, I need to create a new Canvas application. I'll use a phone layer because it's not going to be a big application. Submit a hint. And now the PowerApp is loading me the editor that I can really use to drag and drop, create the new solution. It is going to be really simple. It's just going to be built from one form and one button. allowing users to simply submit their hints. All right, so there is a new application. Now what I have to do is I need to insert the new form, and then I need to connect to the data source. So I will use my SharePoint. I need to create a new connection, and I want obviously to create a connection to the SharePoint site where this list with hints is stored, and to the hints list, and connect. Right, so the connection is already created. Now what I have to do is I need to pick for the form the data source. It's going to be the hints. Now you can see that once I selected this data source, the form is being auto-generated for me. That's a very, very useful thing for the power users who are not very much familiar with the Power Apps, because all the work is done for them. But also you can see that the form contains some more fields, and I don't want those fields to be displayed for the users, and especially I don't want users to be able to change value of the approved field. So now I need to go into these fields, to the edit fields area of the form configuration, and I simply have to remove them. What I also want to do is I want to change this title field from the single line into multi-line. So for this purpose I need to expand the configuration of the field and change the control type from edit text into edit multi-line of text. And that's it. Now the next thing I would like to do is to change the labels, but every time you select a new field that is auto-generated inside the form, you will notice it has this small log here. It says that you just cannot edit it because it's totally managed by the PowerApp expressions. But if you want to change this title, then you have to actually go into the advanced tab configuration of the field. Oh, advanced tab, so now it's going to be really serious. No, it won't. So you have to open this advanced and then hit this label saying unlock to change properties. So yes, unlock it. And right now you're able to simply change the title and the parameters of the field. So write down your hint. Also, I want to change the chat tab from tab into tab. Right, so now the next thing I want to do is I want to put here a button that will be used to submit the form. All right, and let's relabel it to submit a hint. And once it's clicked, so in its onSet property, I want it to submit the form. The form is called the form 1. All right. Now the next thing I want to do here is that if the form is being submitted successfully, I want to send some sort of a notification to the user. And this is also possible. So I need to again go into Forms Properties, and here again in this Advanced tab, you will notice that there are 3 actions. So you can define what is going to happen once the form is successfully submitted, or once it failed, or once it is reset. Oh, one thing more. The form's configuration, that's very important, by default is set, its default mode is set to edit. Now, because we are not working within a context of any item, so there is no edit possible because there is no item we want to edit. We just want to create a new one. So I have to change this default mode from edit to new, so that it will just allow me to create new items, not will be waiting for the context and displaying nothing. All right, and then once this is set, I want to change this onSuccess behavior that will reset me the form. So the form is going to be reverted to the previous state, so to the blank one. And also I want to send this notification, so to notify user, your hint was submitted and is waiting for approval. And of course I want this notification to be a type of a success, so the green one. And then for the failure, I want to use also notify and say your form contains errors, fix them and try again. And this is and this is going to be notification type error. Okay, so now I can check if it's going to work. So there is a small button here in the top right corner that says play, the preview the app. That's my test hint, and submit. Oh no, there was an required field and the form contains errors. Okay, but if I pick all the values so there are no errors and I submit it, there is just this green information. Now let's see if the hint has been submitted. Yep, there is my new hint. Okay, so the next step is that I'll add this application here to my Teams. So to create a new tab, you have to hit this small plus button, and then you'll notice there are a lot of applications that you can choose from. One of them is PowerApps. Now here you have a list of all the applications you have an access to, but I want just my hint. Oh, sorry, I haven't saved it. So I need to go here and save it, obviously. And save it. That's why it wasn't displaying, right? Because it wasn't saved. Alright, so again, I'll try to create a new application. It's going to PowerApp. It's going to be a hint, submit a hint, that's fine. So there we are with the application, and it's in here displaying. Alright, so that's the application already added to the Teams. So that's the first step of the solution. Now the second one is going to be this Microsoft Flow. So now I need to create a new Microsoft Flow that is going to be triggered using the schedule. When you're selecting schedule as a trigger, so the scheduled flow, you'll notice that there are a lot of settings you can choose from. So in this productive scenario, I would choose a week and then, for example, say every Monday at 10 a.m. send me a notification. But here I want to run it like every 2 minutes. Check hints. Right, so now I have this scheduled trigger configured. The next thing I want to do is that I want to get a list of all the hints that have been created within like the last couple of minutes and are not yet approved. So I need to use this get items. Now I need to select a site, so the experiments. Now I need to select a list, the hints. And now what I want to do is to filter the results so that I don't want really to get all the items on the list. I just want to get those items that have been created within a couple of last minutes and are not completed. So for this purpose, I need to use this small or data expression. That is not very easy, but you can manage it. They time. And now in here, I need to put this expression that will calculate me a daytime that is like 5 minutes ago, for example. So I have to use from the daytime area the add days expression. And then actually I don't want to add, I want to subtract. So I will not put like 5, but I will like put maybe -10. So from last 10 minutes, get me the items. All right, almost there. And also the approved must be equal false, right? And this is going to return me the list of items. Now the last step of this for this flow is going to send me an adaptive card. Now if you don't want what adaptive card, if you don't know what an adaptive card is, then that's basically a concept that Microsoft is working for over 2 years right now. And it's basically being used to enhance the way of communication and as well to create a single mechanism to display a defined content. You can post adaptive card to Teams, you can use it in Bot framework, you can use it in Outlook. And if you really want to know something more, you can follow me up on my Twitter, you can see my blog posts or my YouTube channel where I'm trying to describe what this technology is all about. But it's really awesome. And right now I want to post an adaptive card to the user. So there is this action that reads, post your own adaptive card as a flowbot to the user. And now I want to post me, Tomasz Poszytek, that's me, an adaptive card. So if you want to create your own adaptive card, you have to go to this adaptivecard.io/designer webpage, where you can use this very easy to use drag and drop editor designer that allows you to create your own card. And then for you, there is this JSON schema being generated below. So what you have to do, you have to copy it and then paste this JSON here in the message area. What I also want to do is a little bit dynamize this. So I want to put here in this, there are new hints awaiting approval, right? Information, how many? So again, I need to write an expression that is going to calculate me the length of the collection of the returned items from, it's always displaying in the wrong place. So I will just copy it and put it up. It's here. So there it is. Okay, so now it's working and I can save. Now I'll jump to the application. That's my test second hint. Yes, submit a hint. It was submitted. Now let me see if it was actually submitted. Yep, that it is. And now let's check if flow is working fine. Save it. All is configured. Alright, it failed at 33 seconds ago because possibly it wasn't yet configured. No, there was an error. So possibly the expression I typed in wasn't actually wasn't completely registered. Has it been now? Yeah. So I'll save it again, and now I will just re-trigger it manually. So it's very good to really use this test option to test if your flow is running by yourself. So now test it, and it ran successfully. So it sent me an adaptive card. Now me as a manager, now I'm informed in my chat that there is a new message from Flow, and you can see that there are 8 new hints waiting my approval. Wow, that's a lot. Now let's go there and check if there are really 8 things waiting my approval. All right. Well, there are a couple of those waiting my approval within the last couple of minutes. So what I have to do now, right, as a manager, I will simply quick edit here, and I will update the last 2 maybe from no to yes, so that these are going to be approved. And so they're like approved. And now I can simply go to my Power BI report and refresh the data set. So it will take a little bit more than it used to be on Ruth example, because it's really querying my SharePoint. And does it? Yeah. So it started querying my SharePoint, and it has to download a little bit of information. It always takes time, although it's just like a megabyte of data. It takes half a minute to get it, but that is how it works. So okay, let's load the data. Let's see if yep, my new information. Oh, that's my second test. Wow, I'm lucky. So there are those new records that have been created, and now I can simply publish this report to the cloud, so that I should be able to then attach it to Microsoft Teams to complete the whole solution. So let it be published. publish, yes, select this, workspace, yep, replace it, and okay, so now it's being published in the background. Now what I want to do is simply to add this Power BI report, as I said in the beginning, again, as well as a tab in my Microsoft Teams. So I need to go again to add, then Power BI, and then lastly I need to select the Power BI report I want to use. So that's the BI for Ruth. Oh, how original. And after a while my Power BI should be loaded and display me, let's see what kind of hint in the end, because I'm not ever really, well, oh, that's my second test. Awesome. Right, so the whole scenario looks like it's been working. So Ruth, your solution is now complete. You have now the input information, you have now the approval, and you have now the Power BI report that is really working. So yeah, thank you. I hope you find it useful, and Ruth, stage is yours.
So how amazing was that, Tomasz? Fantastic. Thank you very much for joining us here at the Curbal. I really, really appreciate it. Again, link down below to his channel. Go and subscribe, and I will see you again, as always, on the next video, which is going to be Friday, Tax Fridays. And I'm not going to tell you what it's about. So, I'll see you on Friday. Take care, and bye-bye.